The best thing about Donald Trump's presidency is that all of his bills will only be 140 characters. Fans of this channel will know that I am no fan of Donald Trump. But in honor of his inauguration, I thought that I would put together a list of the things about him that I actually do like. Wow, this is going to be a short list. Let's start with something simple. Healthcare. He opposes Obamacare and wants healthcare for all. But this is not a conflict. I'm an environmentalist that opposes the EPA and the religion of global warming. More than likely, he, along with Senate Republicans, will probably start by gutting the individual mandate. Another healthcare item that we concur on is that human life has inherent dignity. He previously wanted to ban abortions except in instances of rape, incest, and the mother's health. Today, he wishes to rid Planned Parenthood of its federal funding and opposes Obamacare for the same reason. Israel is a hot-button topic with BDS, but Trump stands by Israel. While I do not have the time to go through all of the things that he said about Israel, you can just follow this link or the one in the description. Simply put, the Lord promised to bless those who blessed Israel and curse those who cursed Israel. Since Trump wants to move the embassy of Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem to cement it as the nation's historical and political capital, he does seem to stand with Israel. One of Trump's campaign promises was to drain the swamp. While he has been criticized for stuffing his cabinet and inner circle with major swampites, I think that he has turned this around. He has argued for a constitutional amendment for term limits on Congress. Under his proposed rules, 32 senators and 226 representatives would be ineligible to run again. Ideally, Trump is better than Clinton, but Johnson would be better than both of them because he wanted limited government. Trump's nominations to his cabinet might do what Republicans either refuse to do or will not do.
And all the parents want is greater choice for their children. The more choices we have, the more competition we have, but also the better product or the better learning opportunity for the kids.
I think that the discussion about what our health policy for financing and delivery of health care to the American people is a very, very broad subject, and we need to discuss.
If you repeal the Affordable Care Act, the impact is not narrowly confined to Medicaid and the individual market. It has impact on every American. Medicare, too. Think of accountable care organizations where we're driving so much of our innovation. That's not confined to the individual market. In fact, it impacts Medicare very, very significantly.
You advocate the elimination of the Department of Energy. If you eliminate the Department of Energy...
Glad you remembered it.
Zinke said yes in response to a question from Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska about whether he would review drilling limits on federal land in her state as head of the department.
Mulvaney was first elected in 2010 and has been an advocate for large spending cuts ever since, even embracing the phrase shut down caucus because he was okay with letting the government shut down instead of raising the national debt limit.
In addition to them fighting for causes of liberty, they are more than just yes men, as several of them disagree with the president on key issues.
The president said that it's not built on trust, it's built on verification.
It's not true. It's absolutely not true.
How do you know that?
They can do whatever they want to do because I know many of the people involved in the negotiation. The Iranians are very good negotiators. The Persians are always great negotiators. They are laughing at us back in Iran.
Trump says he would have made sure Americans held in Iran were released as part of the deal.
Sir, I think it is an imperfect arms control agreement. It's not a friendship treaty. But when America gives her word, we have to live up to it and work with our allies. Chairman, once the new national security team is confirmed, we'll work together. But I think to publicly display what Iran is up to with their surrogates and proxies, their terrorist units that they support, to recognize the ballistic missile threat, to deal with their maritime threat, and to publicly make clear to everyone what they're doing in the cyber realm all helps to constrain Iran.
They said, what do you think about waterboarding? I said, I like it a lot, and I don't think it's tough enough.
I want to ask one follow-up question to what the chairman asked, and that's dealing with those enhanced interrogation techniques. And that is that if you were ordered by the president to restart the CIA's use of enhanced interrogation techniques that fall outside of the Army Field Manual, would you comply?
Senator, absolutely not. Moreover, I can't imagine that I would be asked that.
I am going to issue our notification of intent to withdraw from the Trans-Pacific Partnership, a potential disaster for our country. Instead, we will negotiate fair bilateral trade deals that bring jobs and industry back onto American shores.
Mr. Tillerson, during his campaign, the president-elect talked a lot about what he saw as major mistakes with NAFTA and with giving China full access to our market in terms of its impact on American manufacturing. He was very critical of the TPP. Do you share his vision that NAFTA and WTO, China access, and the TPP are big mistakes in terms of creating living wage American jobs?
Senator, my understanding of the issue that the president-elect has with those trade agreements is, in the case of NAFTA, it's an agreement that's been in place for decades now. And I think even President Peña Nieto of Mexico has indicated that, yes, perhaps it needs a relook, that we're in a different era now, both in terms of the type of trade and technology, but also the global trading environment has changed since that agreement.
And do you share his opposition to the TPP?
I do not oppose TPP. I share some of his views regarding whether the agreement that was negotiated serves all of America's interest best.
Wow, 6 items of agreement. Maybe he will not be that bad. The Union still exists after Obama.
Our enemy is never as evil as we imagine. And maybe we're never quite as good.
You can click here to see a playlist of videos that I have made about Donald Trump, or here to see my account of this week's news.